And welcome back to part 11 of Death End Request 2, where today we got a bit of a chunky part for us today, which I'll get into why in a little bit, but we got quite a cutscene to play first. Oh, just the people I was looking for. Standing in the hallway corner was the head maid, looking me dead in the eye. Suddenly, I recalled my dream wherein head maid Shizu dragged Vina out of the dorm before midnight. I couldn't put my finger on why, but I found it suspicious, best not to make it known though. Us? Yes, none of you were in your room, so I began to wonder where you'd gone. Headmistress Midra sauntered out from behind her, followed by Anne and Sarah. Liliana, do you have a moment? Sure, what is it? We're taking you, Anne and Sarah, to the church to meet the bishop. Right now? Yes, fetch your things at once. Hold on, why are you sending them to the church? More often than not, the younger someone is, the more open their heart is to accepting the gospel of Elstrain, aka the easier it is to brainwash them. Simply memorizing words in the scripture will not do. One must abide by the faith as it is written. If you say so. I had no faith. I couldn't fathom indoctrinating someone so impressionable into a religion. Almost because it's wrong. Whatever. A classroom has its limits. True education requires greater thought. Therefore, I think it would be best for them to stay at the church for a few days of study. If you want to live at Wordsworth, then you gotta have Elstrain in your life. If you say so. Ugh. I don't want to be separated. Don't cry, Anne. If we kick up a fuss, we'll be kicked out of here too. Don't worry, Anne and Sarah. If you behave, you'll be back in no time. Are you okay with this, Liliana? I'm sad I won't see you, Mai, but this is the perfect chance for me to pay my respects to a different god. Hey, Mistress Midra, how long will they be in church for? If things go smoothly, then I'll see to their return in 3 days. It's nerve-wracking enough coming to Wordsworth for the first time, but now they're being moved to another place. It must be tough on Anne and Sarah. They're still finding their place. Everyone needs somewhere they belong. Anne, Sarah, and of course Liliana, don't forget, this place is your home now. We're here. Be good, and we'll be there to get you when 3 days are up. Promise? Yes, I promise. We can come back? Duh! I'll bake you a yummy cake to welcome you back. Anne and Sarah, are you ready to show everyone how good you are? Yeah! Don't worry, Liliana. We'll see you soon. Best of luck. Okay, I look forward to returning in 3 days. Splendid. Now, you three follow the head maid. Make us proud. Okay, follow me, ladies. Anne and Sarah clasped their hands together, following after Shizu towards the church. Liliana looked back at us, bowed, and then went after him. She's so strong. Mai, Rotti, this may be bittersweet for you, but take a moment to recognize their growth. Yes, Headmistress Midra. Okay. I wasn't as willing to play obedient like Rotti was. I'm returning to my chambers. I suggest you both do the same. Headmistress Midra spun around on her heel and departed. Huh? A chill raced down my spine. Something about Headmistress Midra's expression irked me. It was so cold. Mai, come on, let's go! Okay. I must have imagined it. I took a deep breath and followed after Rotti. Hey Rotti, why do you think those three were taken to the church? It's exactly as Headmistress Midra said. Students who come to Wordsworth also come to learn the teachings of Elstrain. But I didn't go when I first got here. Not that I would have if they asked. I wasn't asking out of jealousy. Doesn't always happen. Some children are chose to attend the church. It's all part of Elstrain's plan. So if God chooses you, you're expected to heed? Yeah. Talk about higher callings. I was a newcomer, but Liliana and the others were called at once. What's the deal? Perhaps you'll get the call to Elstrain too. No, I'm sure of it. Sure. Rotti's encouragement was met with half-hearted affirmation. Truth be told, nothing sounded worse than being forced to attend church. I stared out the window just so Rotti couldn't watch me brood. But I spotted something illuminating the night sky in the distance. Oh shoot, Rotti, look! What? Is that a fire? Wait, what? The church is over there. What? I'm going to check it out. Wait, I'll go with you. We quickly changed into our uniforms and bolted out of the room. Do you think Liliana and the others are okay? I hope so. We have to get there to be absolutely sure. Okay. And now we have our objective for the night. Now, the reason why this video is so long is because the cut-off point I was going to make to end the video made the video too short. The next cut-off point made it this long. So I just had to make the decision, and eventually I was like, you know what, I'll just make it a longer part. It's north of here. Hurry. Alright, and unlike most days, just because they really want you to go up north right now, they take away your ability to go back south, because there is things we will be finding down south that are plot important, but there's something plot important to the north first.
Let's head out.
So I do a quick check to see if Rossi has anything new to say. She doesn't. As you can see, it's barricaded. We can't go south again. We have to go trigger this up here first. But then afterwards we can go back to the deliberately going the wrong way to get optional scenes routine. Which the wrong way is actually to continue going north, but like I said, we'll be doing that in a moment. We still have this to do over here. Also, be prepared to save and not come back to it for a while. I'll explain in a minute. Look at the smoke. This house looks empty. Seems like it. Where's the fire coming from? An abandoned home next to the church and caught ablaze. Was it arson? Who did this? Whatever the case, I was relieved no one was inside. Ma, you're too close. Watch out. It's fine. The fire's dying down. Doesn't seem like it'll spread. True. At least the church and the other houses are safe. It's weird though. You'd think there'd be people out here if there's a big fire. Maybe they're all still asleep? Or maybe they got too scared to move. Don't be stupid. There's no way they're all sleeping. No one's even putting the fire out. The lack of response to a crisis like this conjured dread in me. Something about this place was terribly off. Well, at least the church is okay. That's a relief. The church. Liliana, Anne and Sarah were still inside. Despite the blazing fire next door, the church was unnaturally quiet. Wait a minute, Rossi. Doesn't something seem off? How do you mean? Look, the door's wide open. It's pitch black and the window... What's with that? Let's check inside. My stomach turned as we set foot inside. No one's here. Maybe they already evacuated? That was my first thought, but if people evacuated, we would have bumped into someone by now. Maybe they went into the woods. I hope so, but look, the window. What's wrong? Did these look like scratch marks to you? Now that you mention it. I don't like the look of this. We need to find Liliana fast. Liliana, where are you? Here. My. Thank goodness, Liliana. Liliana raced towards me with teary eyes, and I caught her in a warm embrace. You must have been so scared. You're safe now. I just knew you would come for me. What happened? We were performing our nightly prayer when the monsters appeared. I was terrified, so I hid, but Anne and Sarah panicked and ran out. The monsters took them. They went into the forest. Damn. If only I told them to hide with me. Don't blame yourself, Liliana. That's right. There's a chance the monsters would have gone into the church to snatch all of you. I felt desperate. I did nothing to help them. I only saved myself. Rossi, I want to save them. Of course, we'll find Anne and Sarah. Don't worry. They said they were taken to the forest? Wait, I'm coming with you guys. No, it's too dangerous, Liliana. Yeah, you got lucky. Stay hidden. Someone will come for you. Please, let me accompany you. Don't leave me. I promise I'll never flee or hide on my own. Liliana gripped the hem with a shaky hand. She shook remorsefully. She's just a kid. Hiding's understandable. I'm glad she did. But I sense a resolve to find her friends. Fine, come along. Well, I'll feel better knowing you're where I can see you. Thank you so much. Promise me one thing. Don't ever leave our side. Okay. Let's go, you two. Liliana, which way were Anne and Sarah taken? In the woods, that way. Down here? Proceed with caution. Wait a minute. What's up, Rossi? We need to hurry or they could be taken further. I know, but we can't just leave the fire. I guess you're right. The fire around the deserted house is dying, but it's still burning. The embers were caught in the wind, wafting to the smoke like fireflies. Now how is it going to burn? If we act now, we can save them. Shouldn't we put it out? I don't see any townspeople out. It seems safe to assume that means no help with the fire. The fire's at the house doesn't seem like a risk. Besides, Anne and Sarah needed our help. We're running out of time. What should we do, Mai? Save here, because the death end is actually quite far away, and so because it's so far away and it's kind of cheeky, I'm actually going to pick the right choice this time and show you the wrong choice later. Come on, the mission is to find Anne and Sarah. We'll lose them if you don't hurry up. You're right, there's no telling how far they've been taken. Besides, no one else is doing anything about the fire. Maybe the house is damned. No one cares enough to notice. Right, I guess the only one in true danger are Anne and Sarah. Okay, let's go. Hurry. Which is a bit cheeky, like, I'm glad this game doesn't do as many kind of ridiculous death ends as the first game does, but it still has its moments. That is a very long setup for a death end. You have to go out of your way to put out the fire, and then much later on, at the very end of this day, when we encounter the boss, we will then get the added option to experience that death end. So I click the correct choice now, and then later on I'll just cut to show what it happens. The forest area. You must be referring to the mountain area beyond the shopping area. Which means we're going back south again. But of course we need to go the wrong way first to see optional dialogue, so we're actually going to go north first. Back into the women's dormitory outskirts. Hey Rossi. What is it about Sarah and Anne that helps you manage fighting the monsters? Maybe because we live in the dorm together? Beats me. Got it. I think I see where you're coming from. I hope we get to know each other and that you warm up to me. Also, picking that wrong choice and taking out the fire locks you out from a quite disastrous situation as well. What's the matter? You alright, Liliana? I'm fine, just concerned for the others. I feared the two have succumbed to that horrific monster. Well, I know she gets cut off, but I'm sure they're fine, trust us. Rossi's right, no sense in assuming the worst for now. Okay. I know I'm going to jump the gun a little here, but if you make the wrong choice back at the fire, one of the kids will die. Either Anne or Sarah will die. You get to choose, I guess, but one of them will die. Also, that's how you avoid that shadow matter, is what I was on about. You just go through the fence. And whilst we was on our travels, Rossi picked up a new skill. And there's new dialogue up here, and this was the first dialogue I had interrupted my blind playthrough. The enemy was closer. It's this way. You never know what's lurking in these woods, so stay alert. Got it. Not that it's much of a dialogue to miss, thankfully. Right. It's just them saying, yep, be careful going into the forest. Also along the way, Rossi learned Fertile Shot Tar. That's probably how you pronounce it, I don't know, I'm only guessing. The forest gives me the creeps. We may have been out late past midnight, but the forest was barely recognisable to me. Liliana nodded in agreement. This may not surprise you too, but they call this area the Cursed Forest. I couldn't tell how many children got lost in here. They warn us that children disappear if they wander in too far. We're not supposed to go there. Disappearances, just like the list of missing persons I found at the publisher. Were they connected? Okay, I get it. I bet Vina disappeared because she strayed too far. Right, you mentioned before they found her around here, right? Yep, we gotta be careful. Vina's fate all but sealed the deal. Since Liliana was with us, we had to be extra careful. Let's find Anne and Sarah and head back immediately after. But we don't even know where to start. If we keep wasting time, we won't find them. What do we do? I thought of a place. Really? I heard the staff talking about it. Supposedly, there's an old building deep in the woods. Well, there's a rumor that a child-snatching witch lives in there. Oh, so not just disappearances, but just abductions. No, Mai. It started long before she holed up in that place. Disappearances are normal here. Whether the witch is real or not, they're happening, like Vina. Right, but Anne and Sarah were abducted by monsters. But both cases involve them being taken, and winning the bet, our best option is to check out that building. But I can't think of a better plan. Rossi's right. That would be a good place to start. Duly noted. Wait, Liliana, you can see the monsters too? Yes. Did I fail to mention? She can see shadow matter too? Oh, you call them shadow matter? Intriguing. Oh. This is kind of wild, but I go with it. I have this! A bat with nails? So what? I might have played it cool, but I'd never seen anything like it before. No, I can do my part in the fray. Oh, no, don't be silly. That looks too dangerous for you to wield. Yeah, maybe you should let Rossi hold on to that for you. I'm not a barbarian, Mai. I don't want to burden you. Please let me help. Okay, I trust you to look after yourself with that thing. I could see how much finding them meant to Liliana. I couldn't let her down. Promise me you won't be naughty. Of course. I let her keep the bat because it was better than nothing. I just hoped I did the right thing. Although I did wonder how she managed to sneak that thing in here. Liliana is your third and final main party member. Technically not final, but that's a situation for another time. So equip her with what you need to. She is going to be significantly weaker than the rest of the party, which makes sense, and I know what they were going for. They were going for the fact that she's a kid. Like, Mai and Roti are like 16 or 17. Like, I think Mai is 17 and like Roti's 16. Whilst Liliana's like, what, 10 or 11? So having her be a start at a lower level makes sense. She starts like 10 levels lower than wherever you're at. But she does catch up, and she is a very effective team member. You just got to kind of protect her a little bit early on. But there is some new loot here, and one more side quest we can clear out. The second face monster thing is in this area that will spawn naturally, and we'll be able to take it out. But we got more new enemies, and it's a chance for us to talk about gameplay and what's going on with that church decision. If you are going for all the death ends, which like I said you probably should, the most frustrating thing is how big of a stretch you need to go without saving, basically, because you have to pick a wrong choice. You have to pick to take the fire out, so you deal with the fire at the church. But the moment you do, your only two choices at the end of this place is either the death end or have Anne or Sarah get killed. That's your choices. It's only if you leave the fire you can save the kids. And so because I'm trying to show off every single extra line of dialogue and every optional scene and get the best possible outcome, it means I am going to be following the main route of not taking out the fire and abandoning that burning building. Which might go against your intuition a little bit, but what can you do? But I will be showing off that death end before the end of the video, which is why this video is going to be a couple more minutes longer than usual after we wrap up. Because at the end I'll just show you what happens, because all I did basically was I actually recorded the death end path first. I just didn't fight any enemies and skipped all the cutscenes to the one that was important, and then just edited it to tack it on the end instead. Just because if you're not keeping this path anyway, you're only going for the death end, the last thing you want to do is deal with encounters and long-winded cutscenes. Just book it straight to the end, view the scene, load it back, and then go through it properly. Also, there was a rare instance of my blind playthrough fighting me because of Dragonstar. I get the X's jump, circle is attack, and Dragonstar is the other way around. And so it throws me off on occasion still. But there is a lot of enemies. Like, the groupings of enemies are going to start getting bigger, and the arena is going to be bigger now as well, because you have a full team. Yes, Liliana is a little bit weaker, and she's going to have to play catch up at first, especially because she starts with not that many skills. But you do have your full setup now, and are the most capable you're going to be, so the game's not going to hold anything back. As you saw there, Liliana was level 20 at start, and has leveled up twice in one fight. Like, she's going to be playing catch up early on. And to introduce Liliana's gimmick, I don't think I can do anything about this. This is tough for me too. What's wrong, Rotty? I found this drop ball on the side here, but maybe Liliana can break the wall if she hits it with her bat. I understand, I'll give it a try. And so you get a cursed ball.
Liliana, take care of it.
This is straight up a reused asset from Dragonstar, but I'll explain what makes it a bit better in a minute. Wow, I broke it, the ball disappeared, but as long as I have one, I'll be able to destroy the walls with my power. There are certain walls that can be destroyed, which is identical to Claire's ability in the first game and Zephy's ability in Dragonstar. But what they've done different in this one is that you can't just go around and break them. You need a cursed ball to do so. So they make it a bit of a puzzle that every single wall you need to find a ball first, and every time you break a wall you use up a ball. There is exactly as many balls as there are breakable walls in this game, which means you can technically get everything without having to like pick and choose, but you do need to pick and choose later on what ones you go for first if you want to see every path. Like, going for all the optional stuff first will mean you'll have to search more to get the thing to allow you to go on the main path, but going straight to the main path might make it more awkward for you to find that loot later on. So it is just that little bit more interesting, and I can appreciate the effort, even if like the ultimate best ability we've ever had in an Idea Factory game is still the fact that Manessa had just had a take me home button. Oh, the get out of jail free card, as I always called it. Like, it's just, like, Manessa's is always the best one from Dragonstar, but I like what they've done with the three characters' abilities, making them all have multi-purpose uses and get you thinking a little bit more. Like, have Rotty being a platforming tool, have Mize be a gimmick for puzzles, and actually doing something with those puzzles as it goes on. Yeah, we haven't seen too much of it, but give it time. And now Liliana, where you have to constantly look out for these, which is just the key symbol, which is the same thing, it's just key item, it's what they've always done, it's the same for the first game, for you to find it. And you want to go over here and open this door, not just because it gives you a key in that chest to get through, but because your next killing filler is always going to be here, so you can finish off that side quest. But whilst we've got a little bit of downtime, I want to talk about a bit of news that we came to wind of this morning. that one of the head honchos at Idea Factory Japan resigned all of a sudden. It was no prerequisite thing, it wasn't a retirement, they just quit, and it seemed like a very overnight decision, and it has put a lot of Compile Heart and Idea Factory fans in a bit of a worrying state, because I've been alluding to it for a while, and I guess now is a good time to talk about it. Idea Factory Japan seems to be in a weird situation with Neptunia specifically. Like, it's for the next generation Neptunia title, they're not giving us a new Nep game, they're giving us a port of the first game again, but with some extra pieces. And we've only got spin-offs since. The OVA was just released straight to Steam without any kind of proper publishing release. It feels like something's breaking down in the background and we don't really know what's going on. And now hearing that one of the main bosses just left overnight, and it's a shame too, because this is someone who was really, thankfully, but really outspoken against Sony's bullshit censorship policies and how little sense they made. I mean, the age restriction system exists for a reason. And so now someone who's very against that is like gone. We might have a very commercialized system come into place. I doubt it, because I don't think Idea Factory's that bad. But without someone who's like at the front line fighting, what could become of what's left, sort of thing. And it's just a very worrying piece of news that we have heard, and it's left us in quite a worrying state for the future. I have faith. Like, I think Death End 3, Mary Skelter Final, because I'm only assuming there'll be a Death End 3, and if we ever do get a Net 5, I'm sure there'll still be perfectly fine games. I'm just worried that Death End 2 here might end up being the very last hurrah of true brilliance from the company, and now the head honchos left and some of the behind the scenes stuff seem to be fading. We don't know what's going to happen going into next gen, which is going to be really depressing if it does fall apart, because I found a really strong love towards Idea Factory and Compile Hearts titles this generation. A few years ago I'd never heard of these guys, and I've genuinely loved their work, and Death End 2, Dragon Star, Net 4, all of them are some of my favourite games I've ever played, and I don't say that lightly. What about you, Liliana? How do you spend your free time? Oh, me? Well, I haven't been here long, but I love to read. I borrowed books from the library. Here's what I'm currently reading. And he bets it's on exorcism. A book on... I call it. I didn't know they had those here. Oh, you want to be an exorcist, right? Yes! I'm going to study hard and I'll be the best the world's ever seen. That was a hard yes to pronounce because there were so many E's. You're from Japan, right, Mai? Correct. I don't know much about Japan. Could you teach me? This is quite opposed to Rotti's question about Japan. Sorry, wish I knew more about it too. Oh, I do know one thing. There are a lot of gamers. Like, Rotti was fobbed off Liliana she's engaging with. Gamers? Huh? One game called World's Odyssey, released by Enigma, was amazing. Well, truthfully I hacked it, but it was thrilling to play. Oh, uh-oh, was that a confession? Then I was like, uh-oh, what is this girl like? Anyway, I hear the games over there are cool. I'd love to hear more about them from you, Mai. Alright, that's a bit of, like, patting your own back there. Like, from a game developer's point of view. A Japanese game developer saying, yeah, Japan games are cool. Liliana, what brought you here? There were some similar institutions where I'm from. At first, they wanted somewhere closer. But for some reason, they chose this place, hundreds of kilometers away, so there you go. Yet another thing hinting at the bigger picture, but beggars can't be choosers, really. Besides... I met you, so it all worked out great. Aw. Right. Liliana's a sweetheart sometimes. Yup. Well, I'll say that Liliana is a complete sweetheart. Oh, I'm starved. She's also tiny. I know it's because she's just younger, but look at the height difference on like this all of the actual character models. She's so small. You'll get fat if you snack this late, which isn't good for you. You have a point, but my stomach's growling. Also, this kid eats a lot. I'll get you something tomorrow. Hang in there, okay? Like, it's kind of baffling that she's so, like, thin. Okay, I'll stay strong. I'll get cake tomorrow. Cake. Liliana, you're drooling. Come here, I'll wipe it. And I like how my, like, it's just sorry, like, Mai's character, her development is extended off of Liliana a little bit too here. Where, like, she's doting on Liliana, like, all the time. Because they have similar backgrounds and she knows it. Also, make sure to turn in Tail of Triumph here, because you'll miss out on a scene. The Drin Blue quest we can't actually do till the next time we're out, because it requires... The item box is actually just beyond this event screen, and the event screen ends today. And there's nothing new here from Rotti, so let's end the camp.
Let's head out.
Now, when you're ready, we can push forward to have an actual voiced scene. Mai, look there! Yeah, I see it, be careful. And this scene ahead will play out slightly different if you put out the fire.
Found it! I'm sure this is it, Mai. The building I told you about.
It's creepy. There has to be a witch around. Look sharp.
There seems to be no one out this late. Liliana, don't stray! Come here!
Let's avoid unwanted attention. Listen up. Keep quiet. Got it?
Yeah, I know. It's dark. I can't see.
Roddy, be careful. Something's inside. Anne! Sarah!
Oh, that's them! We must save them! Mai, we need to draw its attention away from the girls!
I'm breaking the window! Look here, ugly! Give Anne and Sarah back to us!
Right, I've been alluding to this since like part 1, but this is the difficulty creep. This is the first encounter that if you're not prepared for will kick your ass. And there is a pretty confident strategy you can use, especially if you have some of Liliana's tools at your advantage here. And the main strategy, and they even kind of lead you into it with how many glitch spots are around the arena and how big the arena is. The main strategy is get people into glitch mode and then don't use their glitch attack. Keep them in their glitch form for the added stat boosts. Because their added defense boost, especially for Liliana, is what she needs to be able to survive the kidnapper's attacks. At this stage in the game, most of the kidnapper's attacks will one-shot Liliana because of just the level she joins at. This thing is surprisingly brutal, and it can actually one-shot any member of your party if given the opportunity. So what you need to do is get Mai and have her learn at either a defense boosting stat or a defense lowering stat. Preferably you want the defense boosting stat so you can survive more, but the defense lowering will allow you to just get the pressure on the enemy a bit more. If you don't have it, you pick up these glitch spots, because these ones, the reason why they're kind of rainbowy glowy is because they're random. And so touching them will give you a random stat boost. So picking up a plethora of them will allow you to get free defense boosts for both physical and magic, which you want to have stand a better chance. Additionally, you want to lower its defense because this thing's got 200,000 health, which is quite chunky for this stage in the game. The first major boss, the Kidnapper, is something I want you to remember when we get into it later on. If I say like a Shadow Matter boss or a major boss, they all relate to each other. Any major boss from this point onwards until like the last chapter of the game all have something linking them all together. And so I want you to remember this thing for later on, so you know that. And this is what I mean, because you dip in glitch percentage. Oh no, actually I got on my way to show off Liliana's glitch mode if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I show it off first, but from this point onwards, what I do, and I'd already started doing it with Mai, is because you dip by 10% glitch form, make sure your glitch form is above 90% before you take your turn. So then if it dips by 10%, you're still in your glitch. If it drops below 80, it just cuts to 0 and you lose your glitch. And unlike the first game, thankfully, it won't kill you if you hit 100%. So even though Mai's on 100%, she's perfectly fine. It's the best quality of life change they've made, to be honest. Trying to keep it between 80 and 99% was so brutal in the first game. And it's one of the main reasons why they gave you the code jacking. So you could try and manually alter it to save your neck. If someone went to 100%, you could lower them back down to a reasonable level just before their turn rolled round and they were killed. But code jacking's not in this game. Code jacking's not in this game. Genre shifting isn't in this game, and summons aren't a thing in this game because it's not based in the world's Odyssey. It's not based in a meta video game thing. It's based in the quote-unquote real world. And so them being able to just hack reality, change the genre of reality, and summon monsters doesn't make any sense. So they're just not in the game, which might sound like, well, they're just taking away features, and yeah, but they add so much more to the base moveset and the breadth of your abilities that I don't mind it. It genuinely, I didn't lose sleep over it to such an extent that I'd nearly forgotten about it. There is a part coming up that, when explained to you, they could have justified at least bringing back code jacking, but even then they didn't really need to. Because one of the biggest code jacking things, shifting the glitch spots and what they are, is now a natural ability Mai has. She now has padagram shift, so that's not something you could just do through code jacking, it's something you just have access to. But this is the stage where you're going to see, I'm going to refrain from using anyone's specials at this point, because simply put, if they were outside of their glitch form, they won't survive some of these attacks. Look, that nearly did half of Rotti, and Rotti, I'd argue, is slightly over leveled. If she wasn't in a glitch form, it would it nearly kill her. Physical attacks by this thing will probably kill you. Just to stress. And the main thing that kind of makes this fight a little bit more frustrating is that on your first attempt, if you don't know any of this, you might survive this fight by the barest skin of your teeth, sort of thing. Just for it, when it's nearly dead, to realise it's actually a two-phase fight, and when its health bar is nearly done, it will fully heal itself and give itself an attack buff. And when that happens, there is a strategy to work against it that, depending on how much you're struggling, depends on how you do it. For the sake of showing off what the Kidnapping is capable of, I let it keep it for a little while, then get rid of it. But still. So at this point, I'm just pushing full aggressive. And I'm also picking the wrong attack, I think. I think it's the moon attack we're supposed to be picking. I just forgot what it was weak to, so I've just been kind of making it up as I go along in this fight. This is it. Power Stance fully restores its health and boosts its attack. So now its physical attack damage is going to be increased. Rotti has a skill that removes any and all stats and nerfs to the entire arena. So that means your team and theirs. Since Rotti is your fastest member, you can do this. You can get away with it. You can use it, remove everyone's defense boosts, which although would make it more risky, but also remove the attack boost on this enemy, and then have Mai and Liliana cover for Rotti to boost her back up. More so, if you want to try and be extra safe, you reduce it, but then you try and make it so you have a knockback attack on the Kidnapper that knocks it into these rainbow glitch spots, just so you can try and get lucky and get a defense boost back on Rotti by sheer chance. Because when it next has its turn, we're gonna feel it. If it allows to, because I've decided to leave it. I get rid of it next turn though, just to show how you get rid of it. And I'm also still trying to unlock new skills, because, you know, Liliana's only just joined us, so she doesn't really have anything. In the same vein as when Rotti first joined us, she had to play catch up a little bit, and now Rotti I think has the widest moveset of the three. Like, she has like so many skills for all three of the main elements, whilst Mai has good support skills and buffs, and Liliana is just really good defensive and healing base. She also gets an amazing skill much later on where she can, for the rest of that turn, make herself invincible. So you can just make her draw the attention and then just resist the damage. but it burns up so much SP, it's kind of wild. Now this is what I do. I use Valley Fresh because it completely wipes the floor with it. And then I use Valley Bloom to get the extra damage in, and use an attack that will have knockback to try and trigger as many rainbow spots to get a defense boost. Thankfully she does get it. The only concern now is that no one else does, so I need to go pick up some more of these. And now near the end of this fight, I actually make a bit of a mistake trying to finish off this fight in style, basically. As I boost and lower some stats again, boosting our defense and lowering its. I try and think to myself that it's probably close enough to death that I can finish it with Liliana's glitch form. I wasn't, and Liliana suffers the consequences for it. Basically. Because even in her glitch form, I don't know if she would survive a direct physical attack from this thing, especially if it has that physical boost. And so keep that in mind, that I then go, I think I'll kill it this turn. But Liliana's still so weak, because she's so many levels under. So where like the other two are doing 6,000 or 7,000 damage, Liliana's only doing 1,000. And I gotta say, her glitch form is the only, like, a glitch form ultimate is the only ultimate of the new three that I don't really like. It's just like, it feels like it's lost, it doesn't have the impact the other two does. Like, the explosions are kind of muffled out, and then it's just Liliana, like, posing. And this is, ooh. Yeah, I think that would have killed her even in her glitch form for it to do 1,400. I know it was also a critical hit, but even without the critical, she was not surviving that. So, a revive and a couple pickups. If someone does fall down in this fight, try and make the revive as close to the edge of the box as possible, because you don't want this thing to one-shot 2 members of your team in one go. Which it easily can. It can easily just wipe the floor on Mai as well. But thankfully managed to survive the fight, and it's going to be voiced scenes for the rest of this. But then I will be talking briefly, very briefly, because I'll be showing off the death end on the other end of all this. And Liliana learns the range, which sounds a bit wild for a kid to learn, but whatever. But anyway, next time on Death End 2, well, we'll see what comes next after all this chaos. Until then, you guys take care now.
Yes! Oh, we beat it!
What's with this thing? It's different from other shadow matter.
Anne! Cyril!
Hold on. Let me untie you.
It's okay now.
I can't take this. I want to go home. I want to go home. I was so scared.
I know. It must have been so terrifying. We'll get you home right away. It's all my fault. It's all because I hid.
That's not true, Liliana. You did nothing wrong.
But if I were braver, things could have been different. Liliana, don't blame yourself. Mai's right. It was out of our control. But... Mai, let's go back. We're not safe out here.
You're right. Let's just get out of here. Liliana, we saved both of them. Chin up. No one's blaming you. You're fine. Understand? Let's go. Come, Liliana. We're almost there.
All right. I'm fine.
Huh? That's...
Mother!
We searched all over for you girls.
Yes, we were so worried. Where did you run off to? There was a fire. We noticed none of you were at the church. What a relief to see you're all safe.
You three, I demand an explanation this instant.
Yes, Headmistress Midra.
I see. How terrible. I will oversee them to ensure appropriate care is given.
Mother! to witness that again!
Will Sarah and Anne be okay?
I will oversee them to ensure appropriate care is given.
Okay.
Well done, everyone. Roddy, Mai, and Liliana. You three deserve a good night's rest.
She's right. You've had a long night. Go on to your rooms.
I'm happy everyone's safe.
How long before you two pull it together? Come on, let's go home.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mai.
Now, to show that death end, back at the church. Let's put the fire out quickly. I remember seeing a well back there. I see it. Don't worry, Liliana. The bucket's heavy. I'll carry the water. Mai, could you pour the water on the fire? Sure. Tell me if you tire out, we can switch off. Then I'll carry water to Mai. Alright, here we go. And the three work together as a little team to take the fire out. It's finally out. Bucket relay's no joke. Heavens, I lost my breath. Okay, that took longer than I wanted, so let's rush to the forest. We gotta save Anne and Sarah.
Found it. I'm sure this is it, Mai. The building I told you about.
It's creepy. There has to be a witch around. Look sharp.
There seems to be no one out this late. Liliana, don't stray. Come here.
Let's avoid unwanted attention. Let's take a look. Then we strategize.
Right. Hold on. Beyond this window, there might be a monster, yes?
That's right. Which is why we should hurry.
Sure, but if there's a monster over there, I don't want to look.
It's fine, Liliana. I'll look. Stay put.
Wait. Just give me a moment. I'll be fine. What's the plan, Mai?
Okay, fine. I'll wait. Sorry for rushing you, Liliana.
That's all right. Thank you.
It's okay, Liliana.
That's right. You have us.